I think you were also starting to talk about a COVID example. So do you want
Oh,
to be more specific about that?
well, like just very recently this week, I had an opportunity to get together with my sister. And, it's gotten to the point, it's over a year. I mean, it's coming on a year. And I see my sister, but only for brief moments. So we made a plan to get together. And, I did all the right protocol to prepare. And my sister isn't as careful as, I don't think she's as careful as I am, but I'm probably scrupulously careful too. I realize that. But anyways, at one point I felt like I got too close, and all of a sudden it took away the enjoyment of just getting together. And I made the decision to get together with her based on my values. I missed my sister, and she brought up the subject of let's get together because she lives alone and she's lonely. So I felt like it was a good opportunity both to embrace my COVID fears instead of avoid and isolate. And it was a nice time to spend time with my sister, which doesn't always happen. So, but as soon as I got too close, that I felt like I got too close, and it was just like a moment, it triggered, I had that whoosh of anxiety, that feeling like, oh gosh, I had the anticipatory anxiety before, but during the situation, I was overcome with, oh gosh, I blew it. I really messed up. I got too close. I didn't prepare. I should have known. But then I was able to stop myself and say, wait a minute, this is an opportunity. Because I started right away in the midst of the visit going into that post-event processing, blaming myself, feeling like I made a big mistake. But I was able to cut it off and say, wait a minute, this is an opportunity. This is a nice, brief visit. And I don't want to blow it. I want to enjoy this time. And so I was able to enjoy the short time we had together. It wasn't even that long of a visit. But that post-event processing came back, and I have to admit, I did get reassurance from my husband, but he's wise enough, and I became wise enough that I don't need that. I don't need to keep getting the reassurance that it was okay. And I can just take a leap of faith and just say, hey, I had an opportunity, and I'm going to stay with that to overcome my COVID fears, because sometimes my COVID fears would say, don't go anywhere, don't do anything.
Yeah, so I'm hearing a lot of shifts there. First, thinking about this incidental moment that you got anxious as an opportunity is a huge shift away from like, oh no, I've done something wrong. This is a huge threat. So that's really great. I like the way that you were willing to take this risk because you were committing to your values. And then you noticed your anxious interpretations and then came back to your helpful self-talk. So it sounds like you really did a great job, even though, when you commit to the helpful self-talk, it doesn't mean that the anxiety is immediately going to go away. So you still had some post-event processing afterwards, but were you also kind of expecting that? Like, did you know the post-event processing was coming?
Yes, especially when once I got that whoosh, I mean, I didn't at that moment think about it, but after a while, when I went to the farm, from there, I proceeded with what I was going to do. And I went to the farmer's market, and I just let myself kind of be in the moment of what I was doing and not get caught up in that I did the wrong thing. I should have known not to get that close. And I just said, nope, I'm going to the farmer's market. I can enjoy this time and not beat myself up. So I did anticipate that would happen.
And you're making a great point that oftentimes the anxious interpretations aren't just the catastrophic thinking that around what could occur, but it's also like beating yourself up, self-criticism for the fact that it's happening in the first place and what you might have done wrong. It can be the feeling of hopelessness, helplessness, guilt around like, it's not just that this catastrophe could occur, but also What if now I'm stuck in OCD and that influences my life, my work, my family, my friends, something else in my life that I care about? What if it never goes away? What if I'm stuck with this forever? What if this is evidence that all the progress that I've made is for naught? So there's all kinds of interpretations people will make once the anxiety shows up. And if you're ready for where your mind typically goes, and you're ready with like, wait a second, self, this is actually an opportunity. This is how I'm going to reorient myself towards a willing attitude of acceptance. And even if I can't get to it perfectly, like I don't fully feel completely willing because it's also very uncomfortable, or there's some kind of consequence here that it feels threatening to be anxious for some reason, even bringing up that as a reminder and like intending to be willing can be a really nice next step. Do you have any
Yeah.
thoughts about that, Larissa?
Yeah, I do, because just in reflecting over it, I think, one, I realized that was an opportunity to really have some compassion on myself too, and say, hey, I did something that I knew was going to be uncomfortable, because it just is. If I go to the market, it's uncomfortable, but I've overcome that. I go to the market and I don't get sensitized. The other thing is I realize now, a couple days after having that time with her, that I'm already starting to think about, okay, I look forward to getting together with her again, because, and that really, instead of getting caught in that, okay, next time I'm going to be more careful, I'm going to do this and that, I'm already careful. But I was able to just, I felt really good about it, because it just kind of welled up inside of me like, hey, I can do this. And I really look forward to that, to see her again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's something, I think that's leaning into my anxiety, and also it's going by my values, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's really great.